my friends. I'm so happy to see you again. I'm so glad that you came back for another one of God's stories. There are so many and they are amazing. Even today's story is one of my favorite. Now, I've been looking for Mr. Bird. I know he was flying around, but I can't seem to find him this morning. So, can you guys help me and keep a lookout for him? See if you can see him anywhere. So today I'm going to go ahead and read the Bible story to you from my kids' Bible. And so our story today is called Three Brave Men. And we're going to talk about three men who their names are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And so these three boys loved the Lord. But one day there was a king that was telling them to do something that they did not want to do. So, remember how God's people were captured and taken away to the country of Babylon? The king of that country was named Nebuchadnezzar. That's a weird name, right? Three of these young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, worked for King Nebuchadnezzar. But the king wanted them to bow down and worship this golden idol, this huge golden statue. Every time the king wanted them to bow down and worship. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego loved God, and they knew that God did not want them to worship any other idol or statue. And so they said, "No, king, we're not going to do it." So the king was angry that they weren't listening to him. And the king told his soldiers to tie up the three men and throw them into a red hot furnace. Can you guys see? That looks super hot, right? It's almost like a huge fireplace with all this fire. And so the soldiers did. They tied him up and they threw him in the furnace. But these men were so brave. Guess what? The men in the furnace didn't burn up. God sent someone to protect them in the furnace. The king was surprised when he saw 4 people walking around. Okay, wait a minute. Our page showed 3, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were tied up and thrown in. But when the king looked inside the furnace, he saw 4 people walking around, and they weren't tied up anymore. The king was so surprised. When he saw the 4 people walking around, he said, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out of the furnace." And when they came out, they weren't burnt. They didn't have any sores. They didn't smell like they were in a fire. They were completely whole. So the king decided, "I'm going to make a new law." It said that no one could say anything bad about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That same God that we love, the same God that helps us, helped Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Isn't that great that we know that our God is powerful and he can help us in any situation that we're in? I'm so glad that you guys came and joined me this morning. Remember, make sure that you guys look for Mr. Bird. I don't know where he went, but he's around here somewhere. So, I hope you guys come back next Sunday and join me for another one of God's stories. They're amazing. And guess what? They're true. They really happened. So remember that Jesus is your best friend and that he will help you no matter what. He is always with us. I hope you guys have a great day, and I can't wait to see you. Bye, guys.
You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted with you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to One Kids Online. I am so glad that you have joined us here this morning, and I am pumped for what you are going to learn today. It's going to be an awesome Sunday, okay? Question for you guys. Does anyone know what courage means? Courage means not letting fear hold us back from doing what is right. And today, we're going to hear from our friends, Carl and Cassie again. And boy, do they have a story for you. We're going to hear about a not so nice king and 3 men who really loved God. These guys all had really interesting names. The king's name was Nebuchadnezzar, and the 3 men were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these guys, they have an incredible story. So let's turn it over to Carl and Cassie. Take it away, guys.
What up, little chicken nuggets? It's me, Carl. Cool, right? Whatever. Welcome to Grow TV.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl, and your co-host, Cassie, where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Hey there, sick intro, right? Made it myself. Not a big deal. It is a big deal. Whatever. Want to see something cool? Check this out. Pretty fly, right? It's a cactus, what the French call cacti. Yeah, I know French. I'm very cultured. I'm a very complex and intriguing individual. Oh!
Whoa, are you okay?
Yeah, I do that sometimes, out of respect for gravity and all.
Sure. So I wanted to come by and ask if you're all right.
Oh, for sure. Never been better. Soup's all chilltastic.
Soup's all chill-tastic?
Soup's all chilltastic. Super chill and fantastic.
Did you make that up?
It's a thing I heard.
It's most definitely not.
WYS.
What does that mean?
Whatever you say.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You're not making any sense.
Well, maybe that's just because you don't speak cool.
Cool isn't a language.
Oh, it is. I'm speaking it.
Oh, really? So how do you learn to speak cool?
Gassy, you don't learn it. It learns to speak you. All right. You see, being cool it's like if you did, what am I saying? You can't explain it.
All right, so it's lunchtime, and I'm guessing cool people don't eat regular food, right?
Of course not. Cool people eat brioche buns, squid caviar, and gelatin.
Ah, that's too bad. I brought too much food and I figured you'd want to share.
Really? What do you got?
Peanut butter and tuna fish sandwiches, your favorite,
Really?
with seaweed potato chips.
Really? All right, I'll have some, please.
Are you sure? I thought you were too cool.
I'm not. I'm not cool. I'm just really hungry.
All right, here you go.
Thanks. Yes.
You know, Carl, you gotta be careful with this whole cool thing.
In what way?
I'm just saying, if you start worrying about being cool and doing what everyone else is doing, it might lead you to a bad place.
Oh, wow. I never thought of that before. Isn't there a story in the Bible like that?
Yep, the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The people of the city would start worshiping idols, and they would gather to bow to them. But the 3 of them chose not to bow down.
Oh, no. Isn't that going to get them in trouble?
You're right, and it did. Even after the king and his officials threatened them and told them to bow, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego chose to honor the one and only God.
That's right. Then the king was like, well, I'm going to throw you in the fire. And they're like, well, we don't care. Because God, he's going to save us. And even if God doesn't, we're still going to worship him.
Exactly. Then the king had them turn up the fire 7 times hotter than usual. So hot that the guard that put them in there died from the flames.
I forgot about that. What happened next?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown in, and guess what? They didn't burn up. They even began walking around inside the furnace. And when the people on the outside looked in, they saw a 4th person. A lot of people think that was God.
How cool is that?
So cool. So when the king saw them, they pulled them out. They looked and saw that none of them had been burnt, not even their clothes. It was a miracle. And from then on, the king decided all the people in the land would worship the one true God.
Wow. I would say those 3 were cool.
Yeah, but not that kind of cool.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes being cool means doing what everyone else is doing. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't do that. They knew there was only one God, and they wouldn't bow to any idol, no matter how much trouble they were going to get in.
I guess you're right. I need to be cool just like them. It's just
what?
It's gonna be tough to do that. I mean, I don't know if I could be thrown into a furnace and have joy like they did. I mean, I just get scared thinking about it.
It's okay, Carl. Just like God didn't allow them to be alone in the furnace, God also won't allow you to be alone in your life either, even the scary parts.
Well, that's good to know.
Yep, and we can never forget that God gives us extraordinary courage.
That's a good point, Cassie. I'd also like to add, wait, what?
Oh.
That's our big idea! Today's big idea is God gives us extraordinary courage.
This is a big one, so let's say it on the count of 3.
1,
2,
3. God gives us extraordinary courage! Woohoo! Yeah! Today we learned that being cool really isn't important.
Right, Carl, and that God will always be with us through the tough times.
Well, kids, thanks for watching. Make sure to avoid any furnaces, because they're hot. Really hot. All right, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Row TV.
Wow, that was amazing! Can you believe it? The 3 men walked out of the furnace without any burns or anything. And God, he actually sent an angel into the furnace to protect them from burning up. That's who that 4th person was that was walking around there with them. It was just so amazing that God would do such a miracle like that. See, these 3 men, they trusted and they believed God, and they were willing to serve and worship God only, no matter the outcome of their choices. This month, we've been talking a lot about people who God blessed with extraordinary peace, strength, and courage. They were all going through very different things. Gideon was asked to do something really scary that he wasn't sure he was able to do. And Joshua and his friends, they were told to defeat an entire super strong city using just trumpets and their voices. And our 3 guys today, they were thrown into a fiery furnace for refusing to worship a statue. But through each one of those situations, God was with those people. They were never alone, and God gave them extraordinary courage to handle anything that happened. And guess what? God does that for us too. Let's take a moment and thank God for all that he gives to us. Will you pray with me this morning? Jesus, thank you so much for giving us extraordinary peace, courage, and strength, and help us to use those things every day as we walk with you. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, you guys, it is time for this week's Bible broadcast. Our verse for this week comes from the book of Psalm, and it's chapter 46, verse 11, which says this: "The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." Remember, with Bible broadcast, all you have to do is memorize the verse, recite it for your parents, and have them record you saying the verse. Then they can send that video over to us at One Kids, and we will feature your video at the end of next week's lesson. Plus, you will earn 50 Bible bucks for this month for any verse that you memorize with Bible broadcast. Cool, cool? All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to dive deeper into this lesson, turn your Bibles to Daniel chapter 3 and take a look at these discussion questions. Have a great week. See you next time.
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. Hey! You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. Come on, you know what to do, let's go! See the sun now bursting through the cloud. Black and white turn to color all around. All is new, in a Savior I am found. This is living now. This is living now. You lead the way, got you right beside me. In your love I'm complete. There's nothing like living with